and just waiting. I can hear Peter. He's muted at the moment. Interesting. Okay, and say hello and welcome. If you're watching us live, thank you. If you want to say hello, thank you. And we'll show your comments on screen as usual. And this is the last episode of Blabbing for Britain in 2021. And say good morning to Roland. Good morning, Roland. And Peter has gone. And waiting for Peter to come back. Whilst we're waiting for Peter, I'll go to me and say good morning. Let's move this stand out of the way. And good morning to, just a minute, just making sure the stand doesn't fall over. Good morning, Roland. Good to see you. And I'm going to bring Peter on board. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Peter can actually hear me.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay. Right, okay, we have, right, all good. And the green screen too.
Yeah, VCom. I had to reboot. I was getting no sound, and I had to. VCom didn't work, so hey ho, move on.
Right, okay. Welcome to the show. And this is incredibly Blabbing for Britain, episode 308. As we say, good morning to Grinda. Grinda's saying hi, guys. And Grinda, thank you for watching. Roland, thank you for watching. John is at the dentist. So John can't be joining us this morning because the appointment is at in 8 minutes' time, 10 past 10. So I hope all goes well for John. Right. Okay. How are you, Peter?
Oh, do you know I'm on top of the world? I've got to tell you that. On top of the world, you know, I'm in my diet fitness club, and I posted a picture of me that was taken 8 years ago. It came up on Facebook, and I put it out. And I've got a big belly, and I'm lying in a chair sleeping. And the amount of good comments I've had from people, oh, you're a shadow, you're almost. It was just fantastic, the reaction I got in the club. So I'm on top of the world. What about you?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to traveling to Germany next Tuesday. I'm in D-mob mode. I'm ready to go. I'm truly ready to go. And Corinda's saying, Peter, how is your MP? How your MP? I don't know. Can you wonder what MP stands for? Let's find out. Corinda, can you tell us what MP stands for?
Member of Parliament, maybe.
Right. Okay. And Roland's found a picture of a tooth. That's where John is. Okay. Stephen we've not heard from, so we don't know where Stephen is. It's just me and Peter to actually celebrate episode 308. And tell you what's going on in the UK at the moment.
Well, as I say, we're a divided country because I have to wait for anything you say in England or Prime Minister. I have to look at Scotland. Now, basically, they haven't made it like law. They're advising you not to go out. Everything is advisory, because the minute they make it kind of law or they declare it, they'll have to stamp up furlough money and everything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So now it's voluntary. Okay. Now,
yes.
I'm going to the Drifters on Saturday. You know, no, that's the 18th. I think things might change by then, because that'll be a packed hall. Okay. And the bars in Aberdeen or Scotland are back to what they used to be. Book a table. Make sure you get booked in. Plastic screens. It's back to pre-pandemic days, full pandemic days. Limits on the numbers that come in. One firm had 900 people cancel on them.
Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it?
I'm going to give a shout out to a company called Shell they had a big due to that were getting done. They cancelled, but they still paid the venue.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the government saying one thing and the medical people saying another. Professor Whitty is saying in England that we should all be very, very careful, and that we shouldn't have large gatherings, and we should do what we were doing back in 2020, as you said, in the early days of the virus. And from a personal point of view, I'm not going out. Simple as. I'm not going out. If I don't go out, I can't catch it. I'm waiting because what I want to do is I want to have a negative test on Monday so I can actually travel on Tuesday. So it's a question of being very, very careful, because the Omicron variant, it's it's spreading so rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many cases. I mean, I'm tending, but I tell you what is happening. There are many, many people. I do my bit, okay, but there are many people are ready to say, I won't swear here, them, something them, and
Yeah.
being honest, I know that I've got a relative who owns quite a few establishments, and he says, I just think I might just defy them, carry on as normal. This because the entertainment industry, two things can happen. They can survive or they'll die. And I think many of them will die unless the government comes up with some sort of scheme to help them. The Scottish government's give 100 or billion, so I can't. It's not. It's a drop in the ocean, seemingly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Right. Over to Roland, and Roland is saying people complain when we're locked down and it should be left to personal choice. Now people are moaning we can choose, and they've done so. Yeah, the thing is, you can some of the people, in fact possibly the majority of people, choose to do the right thing, but others won't. And
yeah,
we're heading towards a two-class citizenship, aren't we?
yeah,
The vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
yeah.
And the vote they had last night, the other night, about the vaccine passport, I think we've got to have it. I think in order to travel abroad, you've got to have it, and it's not.
That's the thing. Now, right at the beginning, I said, all those that don't. Are you still there, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I said that everybody should get it, right? And it was all for everybody get it, and if you're not prepared to get it, suffer the consequences of it. No, my mind has changed because you look at things like thalidomide and all that sort of things, right? In the past, and there's some people say I am not taking it, and it's their right. I've taken mine. That's it. And I know that some people have actually lost their lives because they didn't take it. Then it was too late in their deathbed. But have they a right to say no? Going back to the Nuremberg trials when they said nobody will have this enforced on again. So it's a really, and being, I know you're a liberal man, when does it come in that the government says you must take it? It's catch-22 for liberals, isn't it?
It is catch-22, which is why Angelica and I thought the Liberals should have voted in favour in the vote. They voted against, and we can't understand why they voted against.
Oh, I never knew that. So the Liberal Party voted against Boris Johnson.
Yeah. No, they voted. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They voted against him. They don't want to make it mandatory.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so that's probably because of the civil liberty side.
Yeah.
And then we had Labour voting for the Prime Minister. seemingly.
Well, that's what we saw. We saw that Labour actually carried the vote. Just a minute, just take Nick's comment.
Yep.
Nick, morning, Nick. Nick's saying, "Hi, chaps. Enforcement is a tricky situation. It is." I just want to come on to because you just mentioned that it was actually Labour who got the vote through, and that is totally true. But to hear our Prime Minister in Parliament yesterday say the immortal words, "We won the vote," when in actual fact the opposite is true. He is in wonderland at the moment, because watching the vaccine conference watching the vaccine conference last night, Professor Whitty was saying, "Look after yourselves, stay safe," and Boris was saying, "We're doing so well." It's just,
you said there we won the vote. Who won the vote? It was Parliament that won the vote, not the Conservative Party that won the vote.
True.
So it was Parliament. It went out to Parliament, and Parliament won the vote. So that is a crazy position. However, I don't know how much. I haven't looked, as I say, I try not to look at it, but there are more Conservatives voted for than against. I don't know that figure.
The split. There were 100 Conservatives voted against Boris. Voted against, and there were 36 who abstained. 136 Conservative MPs effectively did a vote of no confidence in Boris. I can't believe that they're all civil libertarians. Can't have changed overnight. But
so
sorry.
Voted for him, Stephen, do you know?
Sorry?
How many actually Conservatives voted for, do you know?
A couple of hundred.
Okay.
Well, no, I don't. Well, probably less than that.
Okay. So the party split. So it then brings on the next question, if you don't mind me saying, is Boris here to stay?
Well, I think that today is a by-election,
right,
in North Shropshire.
Right.
Now, North Shropshire, that's where Patterson was the MP, and he was the one that Boris went to bat for and said, "We've got to excuse him." And Parliament turned around and said, "No, you can't." So he became an ex-MP. And he had a 23,000 majority, a safe Conservative seat. And the talk for the last couple of days has been, well, the bookies are no fools.
Yeah.
The bookies have made the Lib Dem candidate the favourite. All the bookies, bar none, have said Lib Dems are going to take this seat. If the Lib Dems do take the seat, and we'll know early tomorrow morning, then Boris is on shaky ground, because if he can't win a seat where they had a solid majority, then he can't lead them to victory in the next election.
But there again, is that not a punishment vote?
It could well be a punishment vote, but coming on top of the vote in Chesham, where Lib Dems won against all odds, it's beginning to become a trend rather than a one-off. I don't know. I mean,
do you think a change of leadership in the Conservative Party would make any difference then? A real leader who doesn't bumble his way along.
If we could have a leader, talking ideally here, if we could have a leader who actually, at the moment, we need somebody to actually lead the country rather than, in addition to leading the party, somebody who'd come out and actually tell us what is going on. Yeah, that's what's needed. And that's definitely not Boris. I'm going to put a stake in the ground. It's definitely not Gove. Rishi Sunak, possibly. But yeah, I think a change of leader is needed because all credibility has been lost.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some sort of coup, and if not maybe in that way, I think a change of leadership made you. But seeing what Boris has got away with in the past, he just might get through.
It is Hi, all right, okay. On to Nick again, and Nick is saying, I can't think of any others either. Okay, it's difficult to think of. There is a lady who could become leader. I'm not sure.
Bring back Maggie Thatcher.
Nick doesn't want to go either. Yeah, I think there has to be a change of leadership, Peter.
Yeah.
And it's got to be some. I mean, if it was somebody who was selfless and had no self-interest and had the interests of the country at heart,
Yeah.
that would be the situation. And I think at this stage as well, because we've got two pandemics going on at the moment at the same time. We've got the Delta and we've got the Omicron. We've got one on top of the other. So we're dealing with was effectively a double blast of coronavirus. What we need is somebody who can talk cross-party. Yeah, throw the party card out the window and actually lead the government as though you're all working together during the course of the epidemic, and then go your separate ways at the end of it, but work together to actually get us through this.
You have to treat this like a war, just like they did in the Second World War, where they had to work together and back a prime minister, whatever they do. But no matter what you do, there is always going to be an opposition to what they do. If it comes on and says we're going to be doing this, and if you don't, you'll be going to a hotel where we'll lock you in until it's over. All these sorts of things. Then you'll get the Liberals and whatever. Not saying the Liberal Party, but it's just an absolute nightmare. Now, somebody like North Korea, they've probably got it, don't hear from them, but they've probably got it sorted out.
Well, in relation to North Korea, as you brought it up, North Korea and South Korea are actually close to ending the war. The war, which started in the 1950s, has never been formally declared. They've never formally declared peace, and they are sitting round tables and actually talking about that at the moment. Now, and they won't ditch Johnson. I wish they would. Nick, yeah, not before. Well, I don't know.
Well, the table, folks, I've always voted Conservative.
Yeah.
I am now stuck. I don't really like our Prime Minister the way he is. And in the next election, I'm finding it very hard who to vote for. I really am. And it's a difficult time for me. I was brought up on Maggie Thatcher's policies. Go to work, home in Tibet, get on your bike.
Yeah.
It was a wasp bike, yeah, pardon the pun. And that was what I was brought up in. We got to buy the council houses. I'm a council house boy. I bought mine. So I used all those policies. And now I employ people. And that's me. But I don't know who I'm going to vote for next, and that is the truth.
Well, I mean, I live in Devizes in Wiltshire, and we've had a Conservative MP down here since forever, because this is true story. This is a true story. I'll get on to. It is a Conservative area. Devizes might not be a Conservative town. We've got an independent council, for example, but whoever you put up as a Conservative would actually win in Devizes, and that is true. The other thing is that every so often they do boundary changes, and the boundary changes are designed to make the constituencies throughout England have the same number of people in each area. Okay. Right. So they draw a boundary and say, right, okay, that's 67,000 people. That's another 67,000 people, and do that all throughout the UK. Right. This time they've done it. And at the moment, Devizes has one MP, which would be logical because we are Devizes. Okay. Do you know how many MPs we'll have after the boundary changes sitting for Devizes?
No.
3 MPs.
Okay.
What they're doing is they're dividing the town into three. One's going off that way, another one's going off that way, and we're being attached to other towns. And a third of our voters will be attached to one third to Chippenham, one third to Marlborough, one third to somewhere else. So effectively, as a town, Devizes will have 3 MPs.
Right.
That's just crazy, but it's too late to do anything about it because they've decided. Right, okay, and just going back to Nick, those were the days, Peter. I was indoctrinated that way too, and I stopped voting in the end. I know votes are got to vote. But that's my personal thing. It is a personal thing. It's just like wearing a mask. It's a personal thing at the moment. Well, no, it's not today, is it? You've got to wear a mask. Right, okay, now, we're obviously not the only country in the world, and France are about to change their COVID laws in relation to the UK, which is going to have a great effect on people who thought they were going to spend Christmas in Paris. You can't. You won't be able to. The French are saying the only people who can travel to France are French nationals or people working in France. You cannot travel to France on vacation, even if you're vaccinated.
Au revoir, mon ami. Paris no more.
I get a chance to do French. To Corinda, and Corinda's saying, "Have a good show. I'm going live. Good luck with the show, Corinda." Yeah, I mean, basically, they're shutting their doors. They've got rising Omicron cases as we have, and they're saying the way to actually stop it is to stop the Brits coming in. You know, I'm just hoping. This is why I got my fingers and toes crossed that we can still get into Germany on Monday.
Immigrants coming in. They're going to test all of them lying on their streets in tents, etc., and just off the Champs-Élysées, etc., etc. They're doing about that. We're all getting a vaccine. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just a matter of interest. You know?
Yeah.
Well, they're certainly the better. I'll tell you what they've got to do. They've certainly got to stop them getting out of their country so easily on rubber boats.
That's a separate issue.
No, it's the same issue.
We've not heard much about that in recent days. There have been other things to occupy our minds.
Mainstream media, that's the thing. Now, I think I've won a bet.
Okay, what was the bet?
I think GB News has been going for 6 months.
You may have won. I didn't accept your bet. Yeah, you're right. It's still there. It's still there.
Yeah.
Do you watch it?
Yes. Even Sheila watches it. We watch it. And there are some prominent, you probably won't know this, but I don't know if you've ever watched Sky News. I got the shock of my life the morning. You know Stephen Dixon from Sky News?
I might know his face, but not his name.
This young chap, a really easygoing guy.
Yeah.
He's now sitting in the mornings on GB News. Mark Dixon, who is with, actually, Mark Dixon, is it Mark? I think Mark. He actually filmed me in Aberdeen when he was with Grampy, and then he moved to Sky for over 22 years. Guess where he is now?
GB News.
He's GB News, and he's a political reporter, and he's based in South Kent at the moment, counting how many boats are coming in, and you see that every morning. They're reporting from Kent. Now, the biggest news for GB News, do you know what it is?
No, because I don't watch it, Peter.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you, but the biggest news is, have you heard of Eamon Holmes?
I have, yes.
So Eamon Holmes basically got kind of sidelined on Good Morning Britain, etc., and ITV. He is going away to be doing a morning show from 6 till 9:30 in January on GB News. And that will bring a lot of people over, I can assure you. I think he's a really nice guy, and That's the change that's happened in GB News. Andrew Neil's gone. It wasn't about him. The bet wasn't for Andrew Neil. He split the dummy because he didn't get his own way and didn't like the way things were going. But that's a 6 month, and you'll see all sorts of presenters there now that for some reason are fleeing, I would say, from Sky News.
Right. Interesting.
But then, remember, in January, Rupert Murdoch is setting up a new TV station in Britain. And who's heading it?
Andrew Neil.
Piers Morgan.
Oh, Piers Morgan, right, okay.
Yeah. Now, everybody's been after him, offering him mega money.
Yep.
And he's away to start with Murdoch's Rupert Murdoch's new television station. Remember, he had Sky and he sold it to the Americans.
Yeah.
And Sky Australia is a totally different company. One's left and one's right. So there you go. In January, the battle who's going to win the viewers, that'll be very, very interesting. I watch with bated breath. Your reaction to that? All that?
I wonder whether there is room for a new TV channel. We watch Sky News. That's it. As far as television is concerned, everything else we watch is recorded.
Right. I used to be an avid Sky News watcher. Yeah. And then, well, just like the Prime Minister, Kay Burley, that self-righteous lady, she had to leave for 6 months because she was having a party at the height of the pandemic, along with Beth, the political editor, in a party. Let's have a party, everybody. Everybody. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but someone put a rave on the internet as an event, and it's at 10 Downing Street. And this Saturday, because it's the 18th, I think there will be many people turning up for the rave and having a party with Boris Johnson. And that's going to be interesting, you know. And Partygate isn't over yet. There'll be a lot of people hiding under stones, peering out, journalists to them. Did they know I was at a party? Did they know I was there?
I mean, it's the scope. There's an inquiry going on as well, and the scope of the inquiry has been widened to include any political party that was actually taking place around the time, which, of course, it dilutes the whole case against number 10, because if you've got other players involved, then it becomes less of a Boris story and more of a them and us politically story. And
one of the things that people are writing to Clarissa Dick, are you going to investigate? She goes, we've no evidence. And guy says, I'll give you the evidence. How's the picture at the party? And there's no evidence to prosecute. It's just a farce. A farce. Stop. We have tried to do our bit. I'm not saying I haven't broke it. Not big time, but we're all doing our bit. What say you, Stephen?
We're all doing. Rick Crinder's doing his bit as well. He's just been on another platform, and he's so loving the platform. I'll do a demo on it one day. Okay.
Right.
There you have it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a fair bit of time there. What else is happening in the world?
That's a good question, Peter. Shall we take a look at the news? Let's do this. I'm going to open up BBC or Guardian, Peter.
Oh, have a look at 3 at least. Not too many in the left, please.
Right. Okay. Let's go for the BBC then. Okay. Just waiting.
Well, we still can, because BBC, one day you're losing your license. I can tell you that now.
All right, okay. And because we've got space on screen, we can bring up the BBC. So thank you to the BBC. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the BBC full screen.
Okay.
Okay, so there it is. Can you read it, Peter? I'll try and
travel from UK.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, you can't actually travel from the UK to France on holiday. So anybody who's going to go to Paris, you cannot go.
You better keep your fingers crossed for going to Germany, because the same will happen there.
My fingers and toes are crossed, Peter.
Sorry to say that, but you know it's coming.
No, anything can happen. Okay. Right. Where else can we go? This is most of the stories at the moment are health based. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For good reason. So, I mean, if we go for the top stories, which are further down. Oh,
sorry about that. Right. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. I don't want.
This is this is what Professor Whitty is saying. People urged to socialise carefully as cases hit new record.
Yeah, but they're not saying don't.
Well, Boris, I think even Boris has actually come round to that point of view. That's the main story. So I'll take that off the screen again, because we can't. I mean, it's impossible at the moment to actually find any good news. Yeah. It's all about COVID. Newspapers are totally about COVID, because that's where we're at the moment. Really.
I've got something just happened there. I've got Amazon Prime, 2 Amazon Primes, and that I just had a beep, right? I've had another beep, right? Once and right. Okay. Now it says your Amazon Prime's just been used or something, and it's not paid, and they want me to do the link. But I spoke to my bank last time. They says they'll try again, because they give you code. But I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to go into my Amazon Prime, and when they said it's not valid anymore, I will reinstate it.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. I know I've done it by giving my card. What do you think?
I agree. You're in control that way.
Yeah.
In control.
I feel I nearly got conned one day, and I was shouting at us a DPD thing, because they must know when things are a bit. Yeah, because that's a problem. That's why I pay by credit card now, so I can get it back if there's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's a scourge of the internet, is the scams. That's a big scourge, and we need to clamp down on them and see them getting 20 years in jail or something, and say, did you want to be the next one? 20 years. Bye. That's my liberal view. Quite a liberal man.
All right. Okay. I'm going to admit I'm just winding down for the end of the year now. Well, not the end of the year, the end of my English year, and going over to Germany. I'm in holiday mode. I've got the show with Marco today, and it's Ask Angelika tomorrow, and it's the final show with Nick on Monday for this year until we go to next year. And this just a point for everybody watching live. Blabbing for Britain. This is our end of the year show, and we will be back on January 13th, 2022. Okay. Hopefully. Yeah. Whether Peter and I will be here. And we
Well,
look forward.
I've nothing to look forward to. I'm going up to a place called Fockerburst for a Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
So staying out with Sheila's son. Apart from that, I've got nothing else to really look forward to. My guys have worked hard, so I'm going to make sure they get something nice for their
Right.
Christmas.
Yeah.
We've put a lot of work in. No, we put a quote in for something 2 years ago, and another one, and it's thousands, and we got about, and they said, yeah, your quote that you put in 2 years ago. We said, yeah,
Mhm.
and they said, could you do something about the price? No, what? They says, yeah, could you put it up a bit? I'll certainly do. No, to cover anything else it's bird guano and things like that. It says, yeah, thanks for doing that. And then we got another one in. Same again. He says you put in it to a place in Aberdeen, quite a prominent place. You put a price in, yeah. Uh, do you want to look at it again? I says, look, long-standing customer, we'll do it. And he
Yeah.
says, if there's anything extra to be added on, just do it because we trust you, not to rip us off. And I just thought it's a great start for the new year.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. And also in good news, 2 minute, and he's outside. We have a roving reporter.
All right. Is he toothless reporter?
I don't know. Let's find out. His mask.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Where
I've
about?
just come out the dentist's.
Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I'm going to head back home and see if I can catch you before you finish. If not, everybody have a great Christmas.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good. Okay. Take
Enjoy.
care, John.
Run home
Bye.
now. Come on, let's see you run in.
Okay. And
That's
he's
good.
gone. That's
Yeah.
good. Our mobile reporter.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
oh, speaking about mobiles, it's don't the mobile reporter, the citizen reporter has been doing very well this year. I don't know if you watch these things, but
No.
citizen reporters are popping up everywhere. Everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. And they're capturing things live. And unfortunately for the police, they're catching them live
Yeah.
and catching some shenanigans, but they're also catching the other way around too. And so a lot of the time, if you get into some sort of dispute, the first thing people do around about you are taking out the camera. And
Indeed, the growth in citizen reporting is yeah.
and it's not illegal. It's not illegal. And many police have tried to come out, take a terrorist act into it, but the Home Office had actually put something out and said photography is not a crime and you can't use a terrorist act for it. Okay?
Right.
And they get beaten. So it's quite interesting. So if you're filming something from a public area, you're quite entitled to do it.
Okay.
Pete's
Can we film policemen?
Yes,
Right.
I've done it.
Uh-huh.
I got into a confrontation, not a bad one, and I found that he says you can't film this. Says you obviously don't know the law. Get your sergeant, shake him down. Says what's this? Says he doesn't know the law. I says I'm filming to protect me and you because a camera doesn't lie. And after it, I went over to him and I says look, and I says I'm now deleting this. It doesn't need to go any further. I bet you know I was right, and I was right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So never be intimidated. It's not against the law to do it from a public area. What your eyes see, a camera sees.
Right. Okay. Understood.
We're viewing it. We can film. See, I'm not liberal at heart.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. No, I didn't come in with any agenda.
No.
So very good.
Right. Okay, I'm
Okay.
thinking. What's
So,
the future trend? Do you think in the future, technology-wise?
technology-wise, yeah. Tell you what, I've been offered some drones. That could be the future of technology, drone photography. I might take that up. That's the thing I'm going to take up in 2022. The manufacturer's offered me a drone
Right.
to actually sell on Amazon,
Right.
and I might take them up on the offer and
I'm
join
gonna
the drone gang.
tell you, Stephen. I've got a phone now to get my Facebook sorted. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I really need to keep I might set up a separate channel and
Mm-hmm.
just go. I really want in the future to do Amazon Live because I've seen what you're bringing in, and I think I could do very well out of it too.
Yeah, go
Because
for it.
it's only the start. You're doing it in America at the moment, really. I was watching the other day, but I had to kind of sign in to comment, so I didn't, because that's a bugbear of mine. But I thought, wow, because it's going to come to the UK.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And if you are well in advance and known, I mean, I'm known through my keto fitness community, very well
Yeah.
known, because I do live videos there. And you've got to try the button. I know you've tried a few things, but I'm really glad to see you bringing in some money now.
Thank you. Yeah, it is profitable. It is profitable.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing, of course, is that I'm actually getting paid by Belive.
Now, I was going to ask you that. So they've got no qualms about being
No, no.
live either.
Basically, I'm actually doing the push for live selling on Belive. So the fact that I can actually show people the numbers
Right.
means that I'm walking the walk, and I'm doing work in the live video sales group and the Belive streamers group.
Okay.
Um,
But Amazon's got no problems with you promoting that
no,
bit because it's
I'll
not.
t- true story. Okay, I said to Daniel Meyer, the CEO of Belive, that I'd just been on Amazon talking about Belive and sent him a link to my show. Okay, so he took a look at the show. Then he started hunting around, and he found that in the electricals category there was a card, my card, with a great big Belive logo on it, and he was blown away.
Okay.
So he's more than happy to have the Belive logo showing on Amazon.com. I mean, you can't get better product placement than that. So no, all is well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, drones. I'm going to get into drones. I think you've got to get a license, but I looked into it. I thought, well,
Yeah.
what do you need to fly a drone? Because the only drones we've ever heard of are the ones that have been buzzing airports. And they've got a local guy as well. But
Yeah.
basically, to be a drone pilot, you've got to take an exam,
Yeah.
and it's online. And they give you the handbook. You've got to memorize the drone handbook. Then you take the online exam, and you can refer to the handbook whilst you're doing the exam. Yeah, okay. You pass the exam, and then you pay £9 a year.
Yeah. Well, we one of the problems I've got, because I was looking at for pest control, and a lot of people use it for pest control and surveying roofs and things like scaring gulls as well. And we looked at it, but we're quite near an airport. Now that
Okay.
brings its own problems because you have to register with them and you have to tell them when you're flying, just on the limit, etc., etc. And there's and it's quite a wide radius, the zone, you know,
Yeah.
in Aberdeen, and because we're so small, so there's times you would say, look, I'm going to be flying here, and you would have to keep them informed, and you have to speak to the so that kind of set us back a bit.
Yeah.
But in pest control, if I don't do it and don't let invest, I just get someone else to do it on my behalf that knows the rules. But there's a lot of drone pilots now. There's a glut of them. There's quite a glut of them. So you have to think what you need it for, because everybody jumped into it. I don't know if you know that, But you've got to stick up from the crowd. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Is that John?
It is, John.
Let's
Yeah.
speak.
So I drove back from the dentist.
Right. Good to see you.
It's nice to see you guys.
Very good.
It wasn't nice to find a letter from the taxman on the on the doorstep when I got home.
Yeah.
Oh,
It tells me I've got to do making tax digital, so I've got to move my accounts into a thing. I think I'll just deregister for that. It will probably be easier because
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near the amount of money you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
I only became VAT registered because when I first started, I dealt with Land Rover, and they wouldn't deal with anybody who wasn't VAT registered.
Yeah.
I've never ever turned over the minimum amount to be VAT registered. I just never got around to deregistering.
Well, I'm VAT registered, but I just, for me, it's probably the biggest tax bill I've ever paid. Personally, it's come in, and because we all got COVID money.
Yeah.
It's part of your profit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I've actually written a check to them to be checked on a certain day, so it goes in on time. And it's about a week before. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing. And so I'm keeping all these things in mind. But I've actually just recently changed my whole business to go online, to pay online. And
I've always done online, but now you've got to do it from within a piece of approved software.
yes.
So I'll just deregister. I think it's the only sensible thing. And also, I'm 66 in a matter of days, so maybe deregistering wouldn't be a bad thing from that point of view.
Yeah, but even if you deregister for VAT, if you're still a business, you'll still have to pay it online.
Pay what online?
Your tax.
I don't mind paying online.
Is it just for the VAT element?
It's only the VAT.
Okay.
And if I deregister, I won't be paying VAT.
Yes. Okay. So that's why I hire people for that. That's one of the best things. Well, there's one little problem with that. So I'm trying to find out what's happening. But so that's me paid up in advance. Okay. And
Good.
I always remember paying. No, you pay on account, which means you pay early. But when I stopped my business, I got money back. It was unexpected many years ago. Helped me another van to start again. So I don't know where Stephen's gone. So what are you doing this Christmas, then, John? Let's have a merry.
We're having a 3-person, i.e. the 3 people that live in the house, Christmas lunch, and then both my other children and their other parts are coming over for an early evening buffet.
Okay. Right.
So fairly quiet, really.
We at the moment are allowed 3 households meeting.
Yeah, well, that's what will be, 3 households meeting.
But it's voluntary. And on Christmas Day, everybody can meet.
Yeah.
So there's no restrictions there. But I think things will change before that. I really do.
Tom and Sarah, they're going to Sarah's mum and dad's for dinner.
Yeah.
But Sarah's mum and dad live less than a 2-minute walk from where we live, so it means that they'll probably leave their car home, walk to us, then walk up there, then walk back, and probably then get a taxi home in the evening.
Okay. But I don't know. I mean, this Christmas is going to be a sad for people because they've had it last year and they never met relatives, and some of them have gone. And this year's going to be the same. You know, I do feel sorry for people that I've never met people because they might be in Australia and they were going to come over to see their mum and dad probably for the last time, and it's not happening now because of this.
No, well,
It's
it all
not-
keeps changing. I gather there's been something happen with France this morning.
Yes, they're not letting you in.
I've seen the news because I went to the dentist.
No, what's happened is they're not letting holiday makers in from the UK.
No, we're sneaking in. We're going Channel Tunnel, and then turning left into towards Holland. So we're not actually
Are you going
physically.
up to Brussels and then down?
We're going under Channel Tunnel. We're then going to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Right, wait a
The
minute.
train goes.
When the tunnel comes in, what country does it hit first then?
Oh, France.
Like, what's
France, yeah.
What you might not get through.
We're not stopping.
The
Doesn't
train.
stop in France.
Ah, right, okay. They might come on and say, "Miss you, your passport."
Have you gone into hiding, Stephen? Because I can't see
We
you.
can't see you.
Sorry,
We
I can't see you.
you can't see me.
No.
No. Refresh. We'll chat. Yes.
Carry on.
Yeah. And but I don't want to say. But what if the French do that and say passport, please? You have
It doesn't stop, does it? It's non-stop. You can catch non-stop to Amsterdam, and you can catch train all the way to Belgium as well. Hey, he's back.
There he is.
You
You better check out that, Stephen, because you're being French territory.
Yeah, but we won't be stopping. They won't be able to check us. They don't have to check us. We're on our way to Amsterdam. That's the way we're looking.
No passport checks at the border.
No, the
No,
passport
the
check
passport checks when you leave.
in London. Yeah.
What I don't understand is you're hitting now a country that is not part of the European Union.
I know, but it's
You going into France.
But it's like flying over France, isn't it? Except you're on rails.
true. That's true.
They might put up a fighting plane and with rockets wings and say, "Please land. We check your passports."
No, as John says, passports and everything and COVID certificates are actually checked before you actually leave. You've got to arrive at the station 2 hours before the train departs. So all checks can be carried out. And then that's it. Once you're on the train, your next set of checks is when you're getting Amsterdam, if there are any in Amsterdam. I don't know. We're staying at a hotel just around the corner from the station because we get into Amsterdam at 11:30 at night.
I actually signed up for the Germany travel bulletins from the government, our government. You know, I haven't had anything yet. And they, as soon as anything happens, they email you to say there's a situation. That would be a good thing to sign up for because it could change. I'm not trying to put a damper on it, Steve. I'm just saying it could change.
No, I appreciate that, and I can actually say for once that I've actually already done that, Peter. I signed up last year, and I get a weekly bulletin. I might change it today, but
right. Because the problem is, in a way back, you might have to have a lot of money in your bank account for getting back. Have you a quarantine?
Basically, at the moment, there is quarantine. You have to take a test the day before you travel back, and then you've got to take a 2-day test once you're back in the UK. And if that is clear, then you just carry on. If it's not clear, then you've got to self-isolate.
So PCR.
Yeah, the situation is that at the moment, That's what you have to do. But because coronavirus is already here, or Omicron's already here, the thinking is that the government will actually stop it because it's not serving any purpose. Because they're trying to keep the whole purpose of the tests was to keep Omicron out.
Right.
Well, it's in, so the test is no longer needed. They just got to sort of withdraw it. So we should theoretically be able to take a test the day before in Germany, so that we're fit to travel, and then just arrive back in England, and that's it. That's what we're hoping for.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I read something about the government taking every country off the red list?
Yeah, that happened yesterday, was it, or day before even?
What does that mean?
Sorry, Stephen, you go.
No.
It just means you can travel from anywhere back to the UK now. There's still restrictions on things and tests, but before you used to have to go into hibernation for 2 weeks, 10 days.
The thing Angelica was bothered about, because with the red list, you've got to stay in a designated hotel, and you've got to pay $2.5 grand for the privilege, and you've got to be there for 10 days unless you. She was afraid of the rules changing whilst we're in Germany.
Yeah.
So that when we came back, if Germany had become a red list country, then we'd have been forced into a hotel.
Yeah. So
but
for the 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's 2,500 each, I think.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And the food is apparently awful. Some of the pictures of the food I've seen is just unbelievable.
I would say to them, no, listen, what are you going to do if I'm a diabetic? I'm on a special type of diet. What are you going to do for me? I can't eat my sandwiches.
Yeah, well, the hotel's got to cater for your needs, obviously, but that's all gone. It disappeared. You don't need to stay in a hotel now.
Enjoy your stay in Germany.
Thank you. Looking forward to it. Christmas in Germany, what could be better? Just a little bit of snow, just to give the feel of being Christmassy.
Yeah.
We don't want any snow. You can have snow in Germany, but not here.
Okay.
It's a big thing, isn't it? Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember the German families used to take us to their homes for guys out the barracks and take them to their home, you know. So
excuse me.
Until one guy got drunk and walked through their glass door and was cut to ribbons.
Oh yeah.
Squaddies, you know what they're like.
Indeed.
What's the thing? Now, you know that Britain pulled most of the troops out of Germany.
Yeah.
They're going back. Did you know that?
Yeah. I would think that it's in relation to Ukraine.
Yeah. So they're going, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to be like a big training centre, and the troops, just like in Canada. Now, they've actually kind of not pulled out of Canada, because everybody used to go to Suffolk over there and do the training. But now the training is going to be in the Middle East. I can't remember the country. And then there's going to be troops in Germany again. But I think it won't be housing. There'll be some house there to look after. But I think it'll be tours that they're coming to do. So it's quite interesting, and they spent a lot of money pulling out. A lot of money.
Well, let's hope for a peaceful world in 2022, and for coronavirus to be just like the flu, and that we all have an enjoyable and we actually get through Christmas. What are your Christmas wishes, Peter?
I just hope next year that the pandemic's over.
Yeah.
We're settled in, and everybody can go back to the way it was. I hope that politics can be kind of settled. Them, us, and we. I just hope, and I just hope the country can come together for a while. We really need it, and that's the truth.
That'd be good.
It's not going to happen, but there you go.
All right. And John, your wishes and your closing of today's show, please.
Well, my wishes are that both my kids are all right because they both work in the care industry. One is nursing staff in a hospital and the other one is a medicines technician in a care home. So that's my wish for over the Christmas period. And for everybody in general, I think we're just going to have to learn to live with COVID, like it or not. So, what are your Christmas wishes, Stephen?
I said before Peter.
I must be going deaf or senile or daft or all of three. So, it's goodbye from our man in the north.
I have a very Merry Christmas and a safe New Year from Peter.
And our man in the southwest.
A Merry Christmas, a happy, prosperous and healthy New Year.
I don't know whether you saw the Stoke-on-Trent guy because I didn't come in till quite late because of so I'll say on the behalf of the Stoke-on-Trent man, have a happy Christmas, everybody in Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah. And his team are doing really well on the football, but we won't dwell on that. And it's goodbye from me in Solihull, and everybody have a great Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye.